I spit mythology, probably as tall as the top of trees. Obviously, you can't cross the D. Mixed with a bit of Socrates, Mephistopheles. Never lost the keys of philosophy. This is P-O-P-E. Drop to your knees. I'm the monster to please. Don't fuck with a tease. Treat souls like yeast. And on the day of the feast, we watch the dough increase. With every move I make, I choose who's to fake. Never chase a two-face. There are rules to break, but I never lose the case. I win, win, win. And I stay on a bitch's ass like Rin Tin Tin. Not to defend, no legend gonna regret his sins. But only Motown can make these boys to mend. The toys I'm in are large and in charge for your fake ass facade. I'm a Saga City nigga, we be going too hard. The God 720 descend from the stars. I am the GOAT. Right hand up, left hand down. Now show me the nigga that wants to take the telltale crown. I am the GOAT. I am the GOAT. I am the GOAT. Right hand up, left hand down. Now show me the nigga that wants to take the telltale crown. I am the GOAT. I am the GOAT. This is Robin Artisan, chewing on the hearts of men with the darkest of skin. I hearken the wind, sipping green demon Heineken for the vice and the sin. Let the larkin begin. Yeah, I'm a different nigga. Mind your business, bitch, and get your figures. Immortal spectacle, I deliver the state of the art. Watch me take my gun apart. Only animals survive Noah's Ark. I bark when I eat raw. I heat saw when I seek y'all. Treat your beef like a meatball. The present can never walks. You see in my balls. Sipping whiskey, he calls, standing 20 feet tall. Elite eagle, we only live by tooth and the claw. I am the GOAT. Right hand up, left hand down. Now show me the nigga that wants to take that telltale crown. I am the GOAT. I am the GOAT. I am the GOAT. Right hand up, left hand down. Now show me the nigga that wants to take that telltale crown. I am the GOAT. I am the GOAT. The python with Venom, I move like recon on the streets of Henom. Everyone wants to hunt the King Kong, conquer just to be strong. Heads on the altar could never be wrong. Your weakness best to be gone. Let the OG get his preach on and say amen. We slay and skin anybody in my way when the days are grim. Keep an exotic bitch that's way past 10. It's just 3 a.m. We still getting this cash. Never know what cell phone call might be our last. When we blessed from the stress, we laugh. Always best to smash. Never arrest or clash with the police above the law. God is keeping the peace, cause I'm known on the streets. So sit down and have a drink with the Cro-Magnon beast. I am the GOAT. I am the GOAT. I am the GOAT. Right hand up, left hand down. Now show me the nigga that wants to take the telltale crown. I am the GOAT. I am the GOAT. I am the GOAT. Right hand up, left hand down. Now show me the nigga that wants to take the telltale crown. I am the GOAT. I am the GOAT. Tell me what's more powerful, the pen or the sword? I'm a master of both, call me the warrior lord. Eyes are horny for gore, sharpest tusks of a boar. Don't nobody want war, with that riff-raff more. Everybody gets touched, there's dry blood on your swords. Everybody gets fucked, like your wife on my tour. My lyrics come from my core, once I was big up, I'm poor. Now I walk on red carpets and they open up doors. We've all seen it before. Yes, the smiles and the lies, the drama and the cries. 4-5 on my side when I solo ride. Hear the screeching outside, black skies and red eyes, high heels and black ties, long money, large pride. Every time we laugh, we hold a savage inside. Everybody claims God, can't hate that I tried. I arrived in Sin City and the devil supplied, so now he don't gotta hide. I am the GOAT. Right hand up, left hand down. Now show me the nigga that wants to take that telltale crown. I am the GOAT. I am the GOAT. I am the GOAT. Right hand up, left hand down. Now show me the nigga that wants to take the telltale crown. I am the GOAT. I am the GOAT. black leather. What can I tell ya? Oh, oh, Cinderella. What can I tell ya? With a little bit of game, we'll make your life better. Oh, oh, Cinderella. What can I tell ya? White dress of black leather. What can I tell ya? Oh, oh, Cinderella. What can I tell ya? With a little bit of game, we'll make your life better. Lordy Dotty, we likes to party. I like your pretty face and your thick ass body. What you working out for if you ain't trying to get naughty? And then she finally caught me in the corner of the club, trying to see my diamonds if they really what it was. This is what it is, bitch, you ain't getting none. This is M.O.B. and I'm just here for some fun. Cause if you fuck with me, you gon' be out here on the run. Then she looking at me, smiling, confused and stunned. I gave her my phone and she gave me her number. Let her touch on my chrome, let her sit on my leather. Then I took her fine ass home, I'm her midnight lover. Oh, oh, Cinderella, what can I tell ya? White dress of black leather. What can I tell ya? Oh, oh, Cinderella, what can I tell ya? With a little bit of game, we'll make your life better. Oh, oh, Cinderella, what can I tell ya? White dress of black leather. What can I tell ya? Oh, oh, Cinderella, what can I tell ya? With a little bit of game, we'll make your life better. I call her Cinderella and I call her Snow White, and she's looking for Dracula and don't care if we fight. Only going by her senses cause she knows it feels right. She needs the simulation, she's the lady of the night. Fuck all that waiting, she's about that life. And it's money she's chasing, that's whether wrong or right. You will give her some roses and she will send me a kite. Better break for high stakes so your future is bright. Cause it could be dim and it could be dark. So she walked up to my altar with her soul in her heart. She said, I give these two to you and just don't take them apart. And I will give you everything as soon as I start. Yes! Oh, Cinderella, what can I tell ya? White dress of black leather. What can I tell ya? Oh, oh, Cinderella, what can I tell ya? When a little bit of game will make your life better.
What is crack-a-lacking in the motherfucking house? This is the God 720 on this Monday, the first Monday in December. We are in, what is it, the Sagittarian. Oh, my God. The Saggy. The Saggy is the devil. Okay, let's be very fucking clear about that shit. Them niggas is connected directly to the Dark One. You understand? And, yeah, man, I hope y'all feeling real good over what has happened over the weekend. We had our Thanksgiving and whatnot, and I hope everybody got fat. Okay? You know, I hope a lot of y'all didn't suck down too much fat back, you know, and you got larded up in here. The big back is definitely an epidemic that we are going through right now as Americans, and that's how other people look at us. But today, you know, it hit my head over the weekend, and this is probably the last video I'm going to do about this shit unless more astounding information comes out. And I had to ask myself, I said, B, you know, why is this shit on my head? Why is this puffy shit? You know, maybe because I make rap music, so I'm quasi in the industry. Like my nigga was telling me earlier, he got a homeboy who got 2 albums out and he'll never release it to the public. And the reason being is because, you know, when you're releasing it to the public, what are you really doing? You know, what are the people doing? You know, we have the judgments that come from people who have no talent at all. You know, you have the mockery that comes about. You have the people, the imitators. You know, you have a lot of disturbing things that affects the mind of the artist. It makes the artist want to attack. You know, attack. You know, and you also have to defend yourself. You know, you want to get the finances. You want to do this. I mean, you got to think about what we're looking at here with this whole Puffy situation. Supposedly, this nigga was with LeBron James. Supposedly, you know, niggas couldn't even get into the basketball or football without going by this nigga first. You know, if you're a so-called star or, you know, in the game. You know, and it's ugly. You know, a lot of people are involved. A lot of people are scared. So I say to myself, I said, why is this shit on my mind? You know, the rap industry, people don't know what the fuck they're really getting themselves involved in when it comes to entertainment. A lot of people want to get involved and they have to question themselves, what are they really asking for? They don't know what they're really asking for, you know, and they don't know what the end result is going to be. There's been many people who have asked for it, got all the way to the top, or even their parents brought them to the top when they were kids, and they were assaulted. You know, they were, you know, brutalized. You know, they were ritualized. And then guess what? Nothing happened after the ritual. You went home with the sore arse and nothing occurred. You didn't get inside the game. You didn't make the money that you thought you were going to make. And you just got assaulted and you sold your soul to the so-called dark one, right? So I said, why is this shit in my head? What's going on with this whole environment? I said, where can we find this in the medieval? And that's why I love it. That's why I brought it here for the people, you know? That's why the stars told me, you know, the angels and the devils told me this is the answer. It is the medieval. And the people need to, if they're going to decipher what's going on in their day-to-day world inside of America, guess what you have to do? You have to thoroughly comprehend the medieval times, okay? You know, you have to thoroughly comprehend. Yeah, like the brother said here, do the like, press the like, and share, post, comment, do all that stuff. Let me go ahead and put it in here right now. As everybody knows, I have the Kicked Out of Heaven Volume 1, 2, and 3, the Black Man's Bible, the Real Nigga Etiquette, the Ethereal Law, and all of you get the Encyclopedia and the Alchemy of Women, Volume 1 and 2 for $100 right now, and it's Christmas season. So, you know, these are good gifts to give the family. And like I'm stating, and like we're gonna have to go through a lot of paintings today. We're gonna have to go through a lot of medieval paintings, and I'm gonna be reading directly about it in Volume 2 for you all. And I really wish I had the support system to, you know, influence me to do a whole documentary on this shit, because it's been going on for a very long time. It supersedes, you know, Diddy. There was a Diddy before the Diddy. His name was Quincy Jones. Before Quincy Jones, we don't know who it could. It could have been Sammy Davis Jr., who has publicly said that he praises the Dark One, and he's been caught in pictures with the Ashton Libby and all of that. And then we don't know the true the details of a lot of stuff that was going on during the African American slave trade, which is very obvious that there was some weird unison done between specific individuals of the black race and through white elites during the time period of the African American slave trade. And I like to look at certain things like the names. If we look at how many times, you know, the last name Brown is used in Hollywood, you know, Orlando Brown, James Brown, so on and so forth. You know, you have the same thing with the name Jackson. That's all throughout Hollywood. You have the same thing with the name Carter. You know, you have Wayne Carter, Sean Carter, so on and so forth. You even have a President Carter. So, and as we know, African Americans were supposedly given these last names for specific plantations that they were on. Okay, it was given to them from their masters. So we don't know who those masters really were. And we don't know what type of environment was being held on that plantation, what secrets may have been passed over in between the Europeans and the Africans. We don't know. We don't know. And to say that we know would be very foolish until we get some details. And the details are out there. We just haven't found them yet because they're in very old books. And that is one reason why I designed the Kicked Out of Heaven in the way I did, was not only with the pictures, but for you to understand and I did state this inside the material, that each subject that I'm covering has 100 books with further details. I tried to take each subject from the A to the Z as quick as I'm not I don't want to use the word quick, but I want to use the word lightly. I lightly treaded these subjects from their canon materials because I didn't want to go too deep into a hole, and then you may get lost and not staying on track with what's going on with the writing of with the composition of the material of the literature. You see what I'm saying? And I want to say that too. Also, I want you all to put as much energy into the destruction of these niggas called the Canon Gate Publishing Company, supposedly, right? Canon Gate supposedly says that they're going to put out 8,000 books a year. And they're going to put these books out based on AI's assistance. So we definitely need to destroy that. But you see, this is the type of Matrix War shit that I go through. What the fuck are you using the word Canon Gate for, it, B? You dig what I'm saying? And canon is a root word to my first name, which is Kenan. And then Stargate Publishing. You see what I'm saying? So they try to cover up. A lot of motherfuckers try to cover up what I do, and a lot of motherfuckers try to overlook what I do because my shit is out of the context of your understanding. Okay? Even when it comes to my music and how I can go into many different lanes, and produce music based on different experiences and context, content, blah, blah, blah. And those many different lanes I have experienced. That's why it sounds genuine, because it is genuine. I don't get up on my bars talking about no fucking killing no niggas, because I ain't killed no niggas. I don't get up on my bars talking about my homies doing 25 in the pen, because I ain't got no homies doing no 25 in no motherfucking pen. I wouldn't even want no niggas like that around me. You dig what I'm saying? Because if you doing 25 in the pen and you not doing it on a money basis, nigga, you're an emotional write-off is what that is. You did some murder shit, and like a nigga said on one video, it's like, yo, niggas who out here killing ain't got shit to do. They're bums. You know what I'm saying? You have nothing to do with your existence. So you have time and space to do that, because niggas who are responsible and got shit on their back don't have time for that. So you have to watch out with that line. And, and a lot of those individuals who got wrapped up into those situations didn't know what they were getting involved in. There's definitely a support system coming from, how do I want to word this? There's a support system coming from our social engineering and the ladies who support that social engineering to drive humanity into a self-imposed genocide. Okay. And that's what we're really looking at. Okay. So any woman who's out here, intentionally trying to make their husband angry and all of this other shit, and enforcing things like domestic violence, enforcing things like murder, suicides that occur, enforcing, high rate werewolfism anger out of males are definitely aligned with the dark one. And this is a system that's put in place for, self-sabotage and destruction of the human race, as that is what the devil is against, right? Right? The devil is against reproduction, and the devil is against the human, okay? Let's just go there. Today we have to go there. So, I think the first thing we should do is look at some paintings. But before we go into the paintings, let me give a further explanation. It hit my head over the weekend that, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at the Sabbath with this whole situation with Puffy. And we have to ask ourselves, okay, well, at the Sabbath, the ruler of the Sabbath is the devil, the dark one, right? Which in Western civilization's theology, medieval Catholicism, clearly states that the devil is a shapeshifter, and one of those shapes that he shifts into is called the black man, the dark-skinned Ethiop with the red eyes. Okay? Let's keep that clear. Okay? So, if Puffy is in that position, has he imposed the devil's arts on the populace? And we have to say yes. Why? How can we say yes to that? Because he has casted confusion. He has casted confusion amongst his co-conspirators, who would be the other elites of Hollywood, and maybe elites that are above Hollywood that don't want to be recognized by the public. Okay? He has casted confusion amongst the populace, which is the regular folk, which is us, the people who have listened to the music and whatnot. He has casted confusion, hope, and anxiety and fear amongst the police, the feds, the local police in New York, and also the feds. They don't know how to charge them. That we don't know what's going on, but we know something is going on. We don't know what his true position is. We haven't heard from him. He hasn't spoken or made any public announcements. You see? All of this, my friend, is called the confusion of the Dark One. Okay? Where you don't know. You don't know how much money the nigga got. You don't know where he's located at right now. You don't know who he's talking to every day. But you do know that there is a lot of mystery in the air pertaining to blaming certain individuals of devilish deeds and acts that are supposedly recorded. Where those tapes and the evidence is at, me and you don't thoroughly know. We think that the feds have it, just like supposedly there is 1,000 bottles of so-called baby oil. Now, in the medieval times, that baby oil would be called the unguent, which we might go over a little bit. Yeah, the unguent, we'll have to go over that because the unguent is used at the Sabbath. Okay, so that would clarify him. Now, let's go a little bit further. Now, in comparison of the Sabbath of the medieval times and of Puffy's acts today, we see that this whole situation, these recordings, were done at a party, what they call a white party. Okay? Now, from the pictures that have been brought to the public, we see that at these quote-unquote white parties, there are more white attendees than there are black attendees, as Hollywood, okay, now this is the actor realm, we're not talking about the music industry, as Hollywood has more white people in it than it does black people. Okay, now when it comes to the music industry, those who control the industry, there's more white folk than there is black folk. Okay, now there's more black artists and there's more white controllers. Okay, who the white controllers also have a contract in between the black artists. The black artists publicly state that they have sold their soul to the devil, right? A lot of artists have stated this. DMX stated it in some bars. There's a couple of other ones that then stated it in their bars. Now, what happens in the contract in between the white one, who is actually in European or in witchcraft literature, it states that the contracts that are written for people to sell their souls are based in a space of the white people are signing their souls over to the devil and tricking them out of the whole situation. So that means that the black devil is doing all this work based on the contract for the white boy to get paid, and then at the end the white boy is supposed to collect, the devil is supposed to collect a body part or the soul that was dedicated to him in the contract. That was a part of the writing. So that's what we see in the sports. That's what we see in every other area of entertainment. You see white controllers signing black devils or signing a contract with Black Devils, and the Black Devils are supposed to be doing all the work that gets the white boys paid. Okay, and then at the end of the contract, the white boy has to give up his soul or has to give up a body part, right? Now that's the contract area, which that is different than what occurs at the Sabbath, even though contracts are signed at the Sabbath. Okay. And that's where a lot of congregation goes down. That's where the communication of the details of the contract occur, is at the Sabbath. Okay. So I wanted to put that out there. It really zapped my brain that that's what we're looking at. And, you know, fortunately, I'm the only individual who can bring you this information because, number one, I'm the only one that, you know, reproduced it into our modern day time period in its totality. And you can get it now for $50 at kickedoutofheaven.com, or you can get the whole deal for $100 and you get all 8 books. Okay. Now, you know, I really had to look at this situation because it's been going on like this for eons. If we were to talk about before the medieval times, it was the satyrs in ancient Greece who did the same thing. And on the Greek pottery, satyrs are painted as black, okay? And they are half man, half goat. This is where the pan comes from, you know, for pandemonium, which is what's going on right now with this whole situation, okay? So we definitely have to understand clearly that within their theology, they state the black man is the devil, and they're the attendees at the Sabbath doing all the dark arts in order to prepare and in order to socially engineer our real environment, which is the world that we're living in right now, for the next generation, which is the children. Okay. And there's also a tone of natural selection or the survival of the fittest when it comes to a child's survival in order to make it to adulthood. And this is where the abuse line comes in, okay, from parents to the children. And with the elite, the abuse line has to be a lot more stronger, obviously, because they have a lot more things to take care of. And as when they grow into adulthood, they have a lot more things to supervise when it comes to their position that their parents had left for them. Okay, so let's go into some paintings. I think we have to go into some paintings right now. And let me describe some of these pictures because the pictures are out of this world. And, you know, you stare at these pictures long enough. And you know what's so crazy about this medieval, especially when I come down to this area, when we're talking about the Sabbath and things of that nature, it's going to go right over the head of a lot of individuals. And the reason being is because you haven't gone through enough rites to comprehend what is going on in this realm. Okay. So it's going to, you know, I'm pretty sure a lot of this, that's why a lot of people have purchased the books. And the books just sat up in their closet somewhere. The energy was too strong and so on and so forth. And because they haven't gone through enough experiences in life to be invited or to comprehend what is going on in the literature. Okay. And this is really what, you know, it's sad to look at it like that. Now, it's sad to look at it like that because it's clearly stating that, you know, the majority of human population is very chaste. They are very inexperienced. And, you know, I guess experience on the light side of things doesn't really do anything to you when it comes to the understanding of your environment like negative experiences do. Negative experiences will definitely give you the extremes of what can occur versus positive experiences where it's just like, you know, getting a scar on your arm versus getting a hug. You know, the scar is going to heal and you will be able to look at that scar for the rest of your life. But the hug, you won't be able to feel again, you know, and there won't be any reference to a hug or a kiss, you know, which are the enjoyable things. So, you know, the dark-sided stuff stays with you. And the majority of the human race have not experienced enough or the right type of dark elements in order to comprehend the medieval, you know. So let's go through it. Let's look at some pictures real quick. And I have to put the pictures up here because, and that's why the series has over 1,000 pictures in it, because you need to be able to, you're not going to comprehend the medieval thoroughly until you look at a lot of the paintings and the pictures, and you stare at them for so long. It's like those little pictures that they used to give us when we were kids, those little picture books where it was like some scriggly lines and then an image will pop out at you. And that's what a lot of the medieval paintings are. There's a lot of sacred geometry going on. There's a lot of stuff going on inside the painting, that the painting basically comes alive, or you fall into the painting if you stare at it for too long. And it becomes a very real zone. You know, so let's look at it real quick. We need to. This is interesting. It is all interesting that, you know, we're going through this type of stuff with you know, individuals that a lot of my generation idolized. I didn't idolize none of these niggas. I knew some weird shit was going on a long time ago when I was a kid, until some weird fucking shit was going on with these niggas. And it was pointed out to me by a couple of adults in, you know, conversations, and the way the adults were responding to stuff that was going on in the media. So, you know, I definitely considered that, but nigga, no. You know, it wasn't matching in with natural existence, you know. And then again, I was born and designed to do what I've done when it comes to these books and the things that I've stated, which may be may be offensive to some people. And I don't state the things that I state for offense. You know, I state what I state for recognition, because and the recognition is the activities of the devils. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. The activities of the devils are definitely found in the Sabbath. And at the Sabbath, you will only find white males, and you will find women of all races there. Okay, there's no males of any other races at the Sabbath. That's one of the first things I witnessed once my zone was thrown there. It is a psychological space. There is no tangible to it, but the tangibleness is done by the mimic and the repeat, which is what we see at these parties. Like I stated, at the white parties, in those pictures, you will see far more white attendees than you will see black attendees. You dig what I'm saying? So let's go there. And you best believe that Puffy is not the only one. There's, you know, when you look at the Puffy situation, you don't see any Oilers there. You don't see anybody from, you know, the toothpaste money there. You don't see nobody from the Johnson and Johnson companies over there. And you might, I mean, they just caught the Abercrombie and Fitch dude. The Abercrombie and Fitch dude, you know, he was over there, you know, the CEO, he was over there fucking on, you know, doing the debauch, you know, for over 10 years, supposedly they said, or some crazy shit. And they locked his ass up, you know. Yeah, so that's what the game is. Let's go ahead and put it in here. Let me see what we're looking at here. Okay, now we're just going through a little picture show real quick before we go into some things that are written in the literature. Let's see if we can make this as big as we can here. Okay, and put that there. It's crazy. It's crazy that we're looking at this. And you know what's even crazier is that our children are going through this. Now, this is just the cover of a pamphlet of the discovery of a witch. Now, like I stated, we're going to be going through a lot of these pictures, so let me be quick. And this doesn't really directly correlate with what's going on, what I've stated, but this one is. This is a description of the assembly of the sorcerers at the Sabbath. That is what it says, and it's written up here at the top in French, okay? So let's look at what's going on with the Sabbath. We have the goat here in the middle with the light above his head. You see what I'm saying? So that is the eureka. That is the light above the head. Eureka is a Greek word, you know. And what we have over here in the bottom right hand corner is we have the devils at the table with the ladies, okay, and they have baby parts on the plate. You see the baby parts right there on the plate, and they are all consuming the baby parts because this is part of the contract that occurs when you sign your soul over with the devil, is that you have to eat on the baby parts. And this is what, you know, everybody's talking about what's going on with the Planned Parenthood and what's going on with abortion. So this also a sign, because abortion is actually one of the root elements that the devil demands when it comes to the contract being written. Okay, and in return, you will get a familiar. What familiar would be a cat or a dog or sometimes even a baby, you know, that will go about and do your maleficia work without you there in physical attendance, and they will come back and give you report of everything that occurred. Now, over here on the left-hand side, and you see the dancing, the backward dancing acts, okay, that you see around the devil is done in a circle, just like we were taught to dance in a circle when it comes to shit like, you know, Ring Around the Rosie, or when it came to musical chairs and shit like that. All of these circle dances are definitely dances that are correlated with the dark one. Okay, so over here in the left hand corner, what do we see? We see the cauldron, and we see the witch that has a baby in her hand, and she is boiling the witch. Okay, and which we see the jester behind him, which is holding the stick that is duplicating his intelligence line, or making his intelligence into an inferior shrunken head, which is showing that the intellect is not in expansion. The jesters of old year used to have a little you know, a fake head on top in order to, you know, it was part of his staff that he would carry with him, you know, and always understand that that jesters of the 1300s are different than the jesters of like the 1600s and 1700s. This right here that you see is the jester of the 1600s, 1700s. The jesters of the 1300s were more intelligent and would repeat, you know, history, and that was part of their entertainment, was to teach the history of what was going on with certain kings and queens inside, or what happened with certain wars and whatnot inside the castle when there were certain events. Now, when we look here, we also see the witch at the bottom who's putting the fire underneath the cauldron, and she has baby parts to utilize for the cauldron as well, and also the air. I forgot what these things are called, but the air thing, and the air thing to fan the flames. Now, if we look at the air thing, it is in the shape of a spade. And the spade that you use on your cards, on your deck of cards, is actually a heart upside down on top of a knife. And that's what that shape is. So when black people are playing spades, they're just incorporating hate into the culture, you know, because it is a division symbol. Okay, so the frog that's right here is in representation of Hecate, but this is Hecate, Hecate, which is epithet and of Diana, which comes from ancient Greece, which is also an epithet directly from ancient Egypt, which is another goddess named Hecate, who's Hequet, and she is a frog-headed goddess in ancient Egypt, and she represents you know, taking care of the infants and giving birth and all of those type of things dealing with women. But also the frog's arms and extension is a symbol of the uterus holding the eggs. And that's why frogs were an ancient symbol of uteruses, okay? So in the top left-hand corner over here, we see we see the rooster is being held by two little kids over some little play area, and this is not a debauchery act. And one thing about the rooster, and why the rooster is on the left hand side in this area where there's no debauch going on, and then at the same time all things are on the are in the direction to the right, so from the left to the right is how we read the English language. And there's also a lady here, we can't tell if it's a witch or not, holding the light. And the rooster is going to respond to the light, which is being shown, and scare away the devils at night. That's why roosters and chickens are considered to be of a holy space, a holy animal, just like the donkey. But, these are all deep witchcraft element things. So I'm not going to go into the donkey representation. But one thing about the donkey is that you'll never see one at a Sabbath, nor will you ever see salt. Okay. Salt is in essence salary, which is, salt comes from the word salary was used for the word salt in ancient Greece. Okay, I think that's how it goes. And then you have the witches riding away, and they're riding away on the goats. Okay, you see a lot of witches in the air here. Oh, well, you only see this one here riding on the goat. Usually they ride on the goat backwards. Goat is the symbol of Capricorn. The reason why the goat is utilized as some like devil entity is because the goat has what they call lecherous sexual activity. After 6 months on a farm, you cannot allow any female goats around a male goat after it's born for 6 months, because it'll start humping on anything, even its own mother. So you have to watch out for that shit. Okay, about the what the goat represents. And also astrologically, Capricorn is the constellation that all human souls leave through once we leave this dimension after death. Okay, so what we have here in the air are different little familiars. These little things right here are little familiars, okay, that are utilized. And you have the female riding on the broom over here in the top left hand corner. You also have a female riding on the broom over here in the right, and also she's riding a broom. The broom is a phallic symbol, and the utilization of a broom to fly is backwards towards what the purpose of what a broom is. Anything that is in backwards of its original activity automatically falls down into a witchcraft. So for instance, you meet a girl named Nevea, which is heaven spelled backwards. By definition, that means hell. Okay, so anything that is a backward of its original element, is of what its purpose is, automatically defaults into witchcraft double usage. Okay, so you see this witch right here, she has frogs in her hands. Okay, and that's why the dancing is done all backwards. Placing dead baby parts on a table is definitely backwards. Speaking to devils is automatically backwards, of course, as we see. And then they're also dancing around over here on the tree. Okay, so they're just dancing around in a circle, and I think that is a cat that is right here. So when it comes to these paintings, you actually have to stare at them for a very long time, and you will fall into. But, and then you see this guy right here who's probably classified as a wizard, where during these times, males who were in the arts of witchcraft were also classified as witches. They were not classified as quote unquote wizards. They were witches too. Okay, during these time periods. We divided it now with our modernization, but that is not the truth. Okay, so he's playing a flute, as you see, which they say the devil's instrument is a flute, or they even say that the devil's instrument is a violin. Now, him playing the flute also goes back to Pan, and Pan playing the pipe type flute type thing, right? So that's it for that painting. Let's go to the next one. This is another one. This is crazy. This is talking about the tailors, and tailors were individuals who made your clothing, obviously. So tailor's physic has purged the devil, or the devil has got a squire, and the simple sense rent thoroughbred tailor transfers it into railing poetry, and is now foully cudgeled for it. Such is the language of a beastly railer, the devil's privy house most fit for a tailor. That means The devil is shitting in the fucking Taylor's mouth. Okay, and this is the type of shit that was going on. Now, see, what's really crazy about this type of shit is I'm bringing it forward, and there was a percentage of the Negro population or anybody who watches my videos looking at me like I'm practicing this shit. What you have to understand with these inferior brains out here is that these are subjects that are studied inside of your most prestigious universities on the planet. As a matter of fact, the majority of the photography that I've utilized for these books came directly out of museums and came directly out of college libraries, and it's stated on the list I have right in the beginning for where the photos came from. Okay, the whole index is right there. So I ain't involved in this shit, but these are subjects to be studied. You dig what I'm saying? Because we need to understand how you niggas is operating and what is the spiritual significance of these type of parties that are now being exposed to the world. And they're probably being exposed to the world because I brought this shit to the forefront. Now, this is a picture. This is a painting of what goes on in hell. Okay, and this is once again European understanding. Now, what you have to understand with a lot of paintings and drawings that we're looking at is what was the psychological status of these individuals to even draw this shit. And we're looking at lead poisoning. We're looking at a high degree of what you want to call the jankum. And what is the jankum? The jankum is the inhalation of rotted feces that creates a hallucination in the mind. Okay, and these are the zones that these individuals were in because of the environment, also because of the food that they were consuming, which put their nerves into a completely different space than what we were at due to our environment and also our physical intake. Okay, so as we see here, and then also understand that they were dealing with a lot of mathematics coming from a lot of different cultures that sort of all got like melted together during the Black Death, during the plague in 1347. You dig what I'm saying? So as you can see, with the important part about these hell paintings is that we have dark-skinned individuals torturing white folk. Okay, and that is definitely what's occurring right now with this whole P. Diddy situation. Okay, is dark-skinned individuals torturing white folk. Now, who is the majority of the purchasers of rap music? Huh? Who is it? Is white folk, Asian folk, Hispanic folk. You dig what I'm saying? You see? Now, who is doing the devilish deeds? Who's out here doing the shootouts? And marketing and advertising the drug and the liquor intake and the negative lifestyle and the beating of the woman and all of this other shit. It's black males doing it on their music, which that influence makes them act out the same activities. Not to say that they weren't doing it from the beginning, because Caucasians have a large history of doing this all throughout Europe before they even encountered any tribal people, and the tribal folk weren't doing it. But what's the scary thing about this whole thing is that if your gods truly loved you, then your gods would have protected you, and your gods would have made you, the superior force. Okay. But obviously they didn't, So therefore your gods were inferior to their gods. And that's how Europeans look at this shit. Okay. And you can't say that there's something wrong in that space. It's just like the whole space of animals do not do mathematics. They do not do engineering. They do not do architecture. Animals do not worship any gods. You see what I'm saying? So if you aren't doing those things as a human, you by default fall into a psychological space of the animal. You are not in a production area that is in assistance of the human race. Okay? Because this is just one side. All Caucasians do not sign up to this type of activity. But what's so crazy is that we do not know who is who and what is what until you get involved, okay? And here's another picture of the Sabbath. As you see, the devils with the horns are up here on top of the scaffold. And there's another devil down here because he has the bottom layer, the bottom legs of a goat, and he is stirring the pot. And this is a congregation of many different devils here that are getting things ready for a for a Sabbath. And it's funny that we have this word here. It says education. This is the one of the roots, and this is the energy that's going on in the education. Is devils preparing for the bacchanalia, which the bacchanalia isn't really conducted by freedom until you are an adult. So basically, what we're seeing here is the same thing that we're seeing with the LGBTQ trying to teach your children. Okay, that's what education is. Teach your children the backwardness. Okay, here's another one. Is this the same one we just looked at? Yes, this is the same one we just looked at and repeat, but it is flipped around from left to right. Okay, so let's keep it moving here. This is another Sabbath. Okay, and this Sabbath is you see them all now on the descriptions that I read about this picture here when I was studying the medieval. All of these individuals here that are partying all the way in. Okay, you see this big line partying, which is also a mockery of the angelic paintings that are done, where they show a bunch of angels coming to earth, and they come in this big line of just a million of them, right? So this line right here is supposed to be your governors, your mayors, and your senators, and this is how they party, which by detail, me and you don't know how they party, do we? Exactly. So that's the whole point. And then you have, once again, you have the witch up here on a goat. You have another goat flying over here that has dropped a witch off. She is falling through the air. You have a farmer here who has the fork of Poseidon here, okay? And then on this right side, which is supposed to be the inside of the building, as you see, the smoke, which has entities inside the smoke, dividing the space between outside and inside. So on the inside, they're doing a similar ritual. And there's a snake here. There's a monkey here. There's an owl right here. We have another monkey in attendance. And they are all flying around. We have a half man, half owl here. You know, we have other beings, okay, from the dark side that are dancing around in the circle. And this is stating that the Sabbath doesn't just happen on the outside, okay, in the woods, which is what is imposed. It also occurs on the inside. You dig what I'm saying? So we have the witches standing over the pot. One is in nude and one isn't. And then we have, this is a peculiar scene right here. We have a demon shitting into a pot, you know, which the feces is a big part of the whole situation. And that's why they said the Jane Doe girl stated that's why Denzel Washington left, is because she shitted on the stage and the shit sprayed on everybody. Now, shit spraying out of people is definitely a part of the Sabbath. It's, you know, and what they want to modernize and call it the ass blast. You dig what I'm saying? So that is not a comical event. That's definitely showing that you've been eating backwards, and through your backwards eating, you know, the biology that God set up for you cannot take the black shit that you're eating, black puddings and the backwards ass food. So it has to be forced out, and that is an enjoyment of the devil, because it shows that your biology is not in the position it should be in. You haven't been eating healthy, which is in accordance to quote unquote God's law. You see how that works? Okay. So anybody, that's why obesity is definitely, or what they call gluttony is you know, against you know, God's rule. This is a 7 deadly sin, because it is taking into excess. When you are taking anything into excess, you are definitely dividing yourself from your responsibility of charity or giving alms or taking care of others. Okay, this is another simple one to show you the circle partying. It is the female with the devil. It is the white female with the black man. Okay, and yeah, there it is. Okay, it's a simple one. This is another simple one, which is probably a modern facsimile version of the old paintings. This one is a very real one. This comes from the medieval times. I can't say that this one does. You know, there's a lot of imitation and a lot of falsehood that Europeans put out here. So they'll definitely mimic shit in order to try to make a dollar, you know. And Yeah, this is a dark one anointing the witch. This painting right here is called The Witch's Flight, which is just an expression of the chaos and also an expression of the sexual activity that is being enforced on women, the desire by the men who are definitely lifting this witch here in the middle in perverse position. And this is the cuckold male who is in connection with the donkey, the ass back here, who is avoiding all perversion. You see him by being blind to the acts of the witch going out at night and having liaison with other men. You understand? And we don't know who this entity is laying down here, but most likely is probably a woman who, or an older woman who keeps herself in chaste. Okay? This painting is interesting. This is called the Goya. This was painted by Goya. This is a Sabbath painting as well, and what this is teaching is, I think the painting is called the Great He Goat, and the he goat is teaching the populace. But the most interesting thing about this painting right here is the black woman right here, who is in fear of what she has created. Okay, you will find black women in a lot of these witchcraft paintings, which, like I stated earlier on this new movie Wicked that just came out, nobody complained about the black woman being the head witch in the movie, all right? But everybody complained about the black woman being a mermaid. So, okay. This is another painting. This is another drawing right here, more like a color drawing, and you see the witch right here down here on the right hand side kissing the devil's arse, okay, which is basically the highest level of devil worship that you could do, and it is occurring through the majority of the paintings. And once again, you see the devil on the high chair, okay. But there's always more than one devil that is in control or in assistance of the supervision of the human during these events. And what we also see here, not only this dragon right here in the top right hand corner, which is a familiar, but what you see right here on the left hand side is a green demon. And understand that these demons come in 4 different colors. It's green, blue, yellow, red. Okay. You rarely see them in black, but if you do see them in black, you see them. It's a combination of all those 4 colors put together. But in the left-hand corner over here, you see the Tempestari. She has the pot, and she is creating a storm. This is called the Tempest, okay? The storm, okay? And it's kind of funny. I saw a little clip the other day of, remember when the black girl from... I think it was the Cosby Show spun off and done her little. She did a talk show for a minute. They called the talk show the Tempest. You see, so they're playing with words and they're playing with this shit all in front of our faces, and we don't know. This is once again maybe a facsimile picture. It doesn't give off the original energies. So this is double teaching the witches. This is a large Sabbath painting. There's a lot going on in this one. So once again, you have them over here in the top left hand corner. You have the devil coming in on a chariot here, and with horses that look like they are dead. And this is supposed to be done underneath a great storm that is being brought. And the storm is at the top left-hand corner underneath the A. You see, when you're looking at these paintings, man, they have all these letters everywhere to give you. See the C right here and the D right here, and they're giving you the explanations of what's going on down here in the bottom. A lot of this stuff is not. A lot of this stuff isn't transferred over into English, so they left it over there so they could produce it in reality and in the public space over here and get the native involved, because these are some of the deepest elements of witchcraft. In essence, that is what has occurred ever since, Europeans dominated natives, is to make you us, which is, a quote unquote coexistence line, but most likely is not going to occur because of, we have the internet now. And the internet has definitely brought an expose to a lot of your activities over the hundreds of years. And, and really a lot of Europeans don't care because they have brought you convenience. And through that convenience, you will submit. because your parents didn't bring you this convenience of a television and a smartphone and a vehicle. Europeans did, and that's how they're going to look at the picture. And a lot of you are just going to enjoy the fucking accolades and not, do any vengeance because it's not in your heart. They don't look at you as beings who can understand emotions or morale structures like honor and trust and vengeance and things of this nature. Even though I will salute, Black America and many other individuals who supported Tyson. That was definitely a cultural, honorable position for us to do what we've done with the protecting of Mike Tyson and what just occurred with that whole event. But that's why Jake Paul and a lot of these Europeans enforce this type of stuff in the billionaire status, is because of their embarrassment from this shit. This shit is embarrassing when we're gonna bring it to, because here it is. If we look at this picture right here, you follow the mouse over here from the H to the up right here. What do you see this man doing? He's shitting right here in the public. You see that? This is embarrassing. This comes from Europe when you were all in Europe. That's what's so crazy about this shit. This shit was drawn before the African-American slave trade, before you went over there and fucked up the Aztecs and the Incas and the Mayans and all of that shit. This shit was already in the game. This is what you did. Okay, so we see the ladies with the pendulum breasts, is what they call them in the witchcraft language. Okay, coming out of the roof, coming out of the chimney with their hair on fire or in the fire stance, signifying the wildness. And that's also why you see her holding the broom, because she's using the broom in a defiling state of its purpose. Okay, and there are homes back here that are on fire, and there's women chasing each other around, or something's going on over here. You see the demon above the fire over here, and then you see the dead horses. You see the horses are dead, and you see all the women are riding the dead horses, which may be a symbol of the succubi, okay? And this is, they're all wrapped into the sheet. The sheet is and while the sheet is over the dead horse, is also the sheet in comparison with the symbol of death. And, you are born and you are wrapped into a sheet, and then when you die, you are wrapped into a sheet, and that's what goes on. There's life and death, and that's imposed here. So then you have this female here who is making love to a demon. You see that they are doing the do, and on this table, you see an individual throwing up on the table right here. You see body parts on the table for feast. Okay, you see an individual in the tree who is definitely scared of the activities that are going on. Some people arrive at the Sabbath and then it's too late. They don't want to turn around, because the people who invited them to the Sabbath is going to look at them in a cowardly standpoint. Now we have to get rid of you because you know the secrets, and you are not in a part of, you're not in allegiance with how we operate. So then you see this pole right here, which is definitely could be a symbol of the columns of Greece or Rome, but it's also part of the maypole, which the maypole is talked about in the Kicked Out of Heaven series as well. And the maypole was something that they did on May 1st, which is a witchcraft date. April 30th and May 1st are witchcraft dates on their calendar. And what they do is they dance around this pole attached to a string, which is also in comparison to one of the rides that were at our parks when we were kids, which was a pole that you got on the chairs and you swung around the pole. You dig what I'm saying? But that can also bounce back to some Native American sun dancing. And Native American sun dancing is based in putting hooks in your ribs and swinging around the pole in a circular fashion as well. Okay. So down here in the bottom left, what we see them sitting on dead horses again. And these are the carcasses of the horse. You could tell by the skulls and whatnot. The books are open. The cats are around. There's human bones underneath the cauldron. You see, and they're holding up the contracts. And the priest is here. As you see, the priest is holding up some type of device, and he also has a bottle. I think that could be either a bottle in his hand or the rosary beads hanging down. You have the recorder, okay, just like the court recorder, because you have to understand that when you read the descriptions, which are in the volume 2 and in the series, when you read the descriptions of what's going on here, this stuff is actually composed like what goes on at court, okay, and is written in that fashion, of the magistrate is there, the district attorney is there, the lawyer is there, the judge is there, and you have to go through a specific process within the court proceedings, and all of that shit is written like that in witchcraft, and it is mirrored into our court system. It is mirrored into the way our government is set up, okay? So then we also have the candles over here that are lit up. We have a lot of sigils that are written and sigils around the circle, and we have stuff that's being shown through the books to the younger ladies by the older ladies, okay? And then we have person over here playing on the bagpipe, which there will always be music going on. Okay, let me see. Right, and you see the riding of the goat here, and the goat is actually in a fashion to be a centaur, because we don't know if that's the top of the goat when it comes to this nun that is in front of her. And the female that's riding the goat has her hair on fire. She's in flames, okay? So there's a couple of more other things in here that I missed. We have the hand here, and you see the hand right here has the circle, the diamond, the club symbol, okay, that's being used. And they have other symbols that's being used, and supposedly these circle dances bring devils into a materialization. That is the purpose of all circle dances and all circle rituals, is to materialize a devil and talk to it directly, and you have to understand that there's thousands of these devils, right? So there goes another one. This could be another facsimile picture, but it's definitely showing you that, the devil rides with the witch, and there's also a pilgrim behind him that is using the whip, okay? This is the actual the devil's book, supposedly, and this is supposed to be an original drawing of him, okay? Let's go through some more. This is once again sitting at the party, and we're holding up our cups for the toast, and the cups for the toast, and why they call it a toast is for burning, because that's what happens after something is toasted. It is a result of being burned. You dig what I'm saying? So we are burning, or the prior way, and we are creating an oral agreement for the new way, and that's what a toast is, okay? This is a familiar that a witch has. This is babies being sacrificed to a devil, with familiars flying above the devil, and you can see the devil is definitely happy, and the females are there in attendance, okay? This is what goes on, people. This is the Western world we live in. This is the spirituality zone that they're not teaching you. They're going to teach you the Christianity. They're going to teach you the Catholicism. But they ain't going to teach you nothing about no witchcraft, because witchcraft is being utilized on you every day through the English language, through our music, through our movies, and through many other forms. And guess who are the only ones that know it? Europeans. Sips tea. You understand? And you can only get this information here. So you have to get the kicked out of heaven, B. And if you don't get it, you are lost in all ways, okay? Because it is very clear that I have thoroughly described to you what's going on. Oh, look at this one. This is the eating of the arts that they tried to enforce on people in the music. Remember a couple of years ago, eating the booty like groceries. And you see the female is getting ready for great festivities, while the devil is right there letting her know this is what you will be doing. This is in the mirror that she is getting ready. She is putting on her makeup to attend the feast. Do you understand? Crazy shit. Yeah, it's all crazy. Let me see what we got here. Let me see something real quick. It is all madness, my friend. And that's what people are, that's what people are getting involved in when they go to these parties and these events. And they don't even know that's what they're getting involved in, my friend. You see, it's craziness. But we got some more of these. Let's keep going. Okay, this is a situation where the females are discussing to the devils on how to teach the children. That's why you got the children right here. Okay. There goes the original drawing. Okay. Let me see here. Is this picture even showing up? Let me show. Now, what's interesting about this picture? Yeah. Let's keep going. What's interesting about this one right here is that this face is definitely painted clearly as a black man, and he's wearing some form of crown. And it is one of the saints that is being abused here and being bludgeoned upside the head, while the Bible is being ripped apart by another demon over here in the background. Okay, and then we have over here in the top left-hand corner, we have an individual looks like he's about to be hung, and then we have the imagination or the dream or the hope of the cross inside this little circle. But besides that, we have the devils ready to bludgeon and beat the saint, in which they will. And then the saint will, or the priest, as he is in that position right now, will be, because of his martyr status and not rescinding his love for the Lord, he will become a saint and be accepted into heaven. So you are supposed to allow the devils to beat you. And that is basically what this world is composed of. Even when we look inside of the creation of the Roman saints, it was the emperors that tested their benevolence and tested their will of dedication towards the righteous ways, and said, you have no way, and sicked the animals on them and rolled them down hills and burned them alive, boiled them alive, threw them over cliffs, and any other, imaginable form of death, and this is why Western philosophy holds on to this phrase called 6 million ways to die, choose one, because they have definitely went through the 6 million ways of death, okay? And then we also look up here on the right-hand side, we see a devil that is farting on the whole scene, to create blasphemous stench, while, we have what looks like a black man and a white man's body that is diseased. If we pay attention, there's spots all over the body, and those spots are definitely in representation of the plague, which is in other paintings. You can look at that painting in the St. Anthony's painting, and you'll see that. You'll see the white, green, pale body with spots all over it, with entities that were in our cartoons when we were younger, when movies like The Labyrinth and shit. So here's another painting of hell, and what's important here is the wheelbarrow that is holding nothing but white individuals, and that once again all the devils are different colors. And to walk inside the castle is to walk inside the depths of hell, obviously, as there's many different significances behind that when it comes to castles and their design, being always cold, and everybody would just defecate anywhere because there wasn't accessible toilets and things of that nature. This is definitely the fort where soldiers would come in to kidnap, rape and pillage and murder whatever other king, queen, and this is another scene right here of a devil blessing a wizard, okay, with other witches in attendance, okay. So this scene here is definitely another Sabbath, okay. And we see the jailed individual here. We see the skull in representation instead of a goat. We see the buck over here. He has antlers on his head, not necessarily the horns of a goat. And he's riding on the horse, which has a cat's face, if you will. There's a dead horse here that this lady is riding on, and she's riding on it sideways, which is the backwardness of how to ride on a horse. And then we see these two ladies here riding on the broom with the baby, and the babies are stirring the cauldron, and we have cats here, which are raised around the children. So understand that having cats around or having other hardcore animals around children will definitely raise their mentality into a space of wickedness, is the word we want to use. Okay, and over here on the right hand side, we see that all of these beings are half man, half animal, because of their horns and their facial structure. We also see somebody over here stirring up the fire to make sure the coals are hot. And the coals are actually bones. We don't know if those bones are human bones or animal bones, but they definitely look like a human femur here. Okay, and then we have the dragon over here that is breathing. Okay, we have the snake underneath the Bible here, or a dragon underneath some form of book. We can't tell if it's a Bible or whatnot. And we also have, incantation, magic utensils here, which are also similar to what we use inside laboratories, right? You use the bottles and you use the flask and other types of bottles for chemical work. And all chemical work can be considered a form of witchcraft, okay? Like taking plastic out of oil, which synthesizing oil into gasoline and synthesizing oil into plastic, which is the bottom line assistance of our, out of the world that we live in today. And we see a headless man here hanging upside down. Okay, no, there's his head right there. Sorry about that. We see a man hanging upside down right above the fire, which is something that they used to do. They used to do that to Jews who would visit Christian prostitutes. They would hang them upside down over a fire with two pit bulls hung upside down over the fire as well. And the pit bulls will savagely attack the dude because they don't know where the heat and the fire is coming from. So we already went over this one. This is Matthew Hopkins, Witchfinder General, okay, who is giving a further description on how females operate with their familiars, which are, like I stated, cats and dogs and other pets, rabbits and, crows and whatever, their attachment towards nature. Now, what you have to understand is the thing that's peculiar about this drawing is the names of the familiars, which are words that are the names of devils. Okay, so news is one. Okay, so the news, to watch the news is a devil up in there. And the vinegar Tom. Okay, the word Tom and the word vinegar, devil up in there. Sack and sugar, you see that? Sugar is double up in there. And I don't know the science of the details of what was going on with sugar inside of the marketplace and how it was utilized during that time when it came to foods and whatnot. But I think sugar came in at around 1500, 16. Yeah, because sugar was discovered with the whole Caribbean thing. So, I guess, but that could be talking about the hyper anxiety that comes from sugar, which that is the activity with inside the element, and that activity or behavior is classified as the demon's operations. Okay, so this is he's saying that the witch is stating that her imp's names are so on, so and forth. But remember, these are what they get at the Sabbath. So the females that attend the Sabbath, they go get pets. And these pets, run around and they observe your activity and see what the fuck you're doing, and they give back report to the witch. And that's supposedly how women know so much about what you're doing when they're not around. They can feel it in their gut. This is just one layer to the same science of the uterus is alien type of thing. So the Griselle greedy gut is another one. So to have a greedy gut is basically gluttony, and to consistently consume, which is a lot of the females lately. Remember, they were going on that whole body positivity and all of that shit, and to get fat, which basically kills them themselves. But women have a far more capacity to take on a wider range of chemicals and take on a wider range of self-sabotage when it comes to intake than what men can. Okay, and part of that is due to the design that they're able to also give birth. But what they're giving birth to, they might give birth to a vinegar Tom right here, and that's not what you want. You dig what I'm saying? So you definitely have to watch out about the consumption and the diet of a female. Now, this is Peter Bugler. This is one of his drawings, his paintings. And when you get down to the details in this painting, you will definitely see a lot of devilish activity occurring, a lot of backwardness going on, a lot of backwardness that we also experienced as children. So, there's games like Jenga is originally the Spanish Towers, which was a Spaniard game in the medieval times, and it was done with way bigger blocks than the blocks that we use now. Also, spinning of the tops, which I don't think, yeah, there he goes right there. They're spinning the top right here. 3 little, half retarded kids. They're spinning the top, you see? Okay. That was also something that comes from the medieval times. We have the riding of the barrel in the boat. There's a lot of backward activity that was going on in their daily social that also assisted with a lot of the paintings and things of that nature that I was just explaining. So like we see back here in this picture, you see them dancing around in a circle, which we've already explained that. See the individual sitting outside of the window. We see some type of parade going on here with those draped in black, most likely a funeral procession. And we also see a similar activity with these individuals dressed in brown, which shows that there was different orders and operations going on at the same time. But Peter Bugler definitely does a thorough description of the insanity that was going down in the medieval times, okay? So which is witnessed in all paintings and cartoons that were drawn, okay? This is witches over the pot, baby parts inside the pot, the cauldron, and with a cat in attendance right here. Okay. This is another. This Sabbath painting is given, more of a tempestary point of view. As you can see, there's a storm being created, and there's a witch right here, with another witch flying on beings that are not goats. But there's some other form of hellish being. Okay, this female right here is riding on the goat. And you can see that the goal was to create the storm or maybe even a volcano that is coming out of the mountain. Okay, and then down here on close, you see that there is the witch is here, and she is putting something inside of a pot or inside of the fire that is burning on the ground, as the pot is over here. Okay, and then you can see they have parked their broom over here because they are now in attendance at the Bacchanalia. In Greece and Rome, they called it the Bacchanalia, And there's a lot of different ones too. So there's the Lupercanalia, there's the Bacchanalia. There's a lot of different ones of festivities that were going on, and these were a lot of the hardcore activities that were going on during the course of those festivities. The one thing is that they've kept their ancestry alive, and they, stay in cahoots with what their ancestry states, whether that's Greece, Rome, or medieval. And once again, it's correlated to, like I had the lady in a fan that's in the audience that always asks me about writing about the Jews, and I'm not going to do about the Jews because they keep their shit. They have stayed loyal amongst them. They have kept the secrecy. You see, and that's the same thing with these Europeans. They kept their history line, and they enforce their history line upon you. Hence the movie Gladiator. They don't remake no Zulu, my nigga. They give you a fake ass Wakanda. Because you don't support your own shit. Like there's Mexicans over here listening to more old black music than what we do. We don't appreciate. We have no appreciation. We don't put any barriers around what we call culture, whether it is our negative side or our positive side. We do not compile all of our shit and maintain it in any way. We don't protect it. You dig what I'm saying? So this is the devil giving the sick woman the concoction. Okay. Let me see here. Now, what's cold about this painting is, once again, you see the black man, the devil, torturing the white folk, is what you see. You see the word libidinous here, which is libido. You have the word aberrai here is for avarice. You have the word arresendai. I'd have to study that to see what that means. And then you have I don't know what this word is that's around the devil's head. Okay, but what's really cold is the word NVIDIA here. And you see it in the top right hand corner. Let me blow up the picture a little bit. Okay, NVIDIA here, which is also NVIDIA, which is also the name of your processor on your computer. You see how they play the game on you? And we support this shit. You know, we don't do nothing against it. We don't fight it in any way. And guess what? You're not going to. You can't fight it, you know, because they've kicked the world's ass and the whole world is in support because they don't know shit about what was going on in Europe before these motherfuckers went across the goddamn system. You dig what I'm saying? So eat, eat, eat. They need to write Gucci right here on this white woman's leg. They need to write Louis Vuitton right here. They need to write motherfucking what's another one of the brands? Fendi right here, nigga, because that's what the Negro does. He eats, 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 eats. You dig what I'm saying? So let's keep it moving. Oh, this is another picture of the goat teaching in the late night hour, 3 a.m. That's why you see the dark leaving and the sun rising, okay, in the background, okay? And that's also why you see the woman here giving the dilapidated child, the famine child to the goat, you dig? And one thing about that is that goats can eat anything, you know? And this is another picture of a Sabbath going on. And the Sabbath is dancing around with the fire on his hands. In the top left-hand corner, you see the woman on the goat again. You see the woman on the goat again over here. And then you see a long horn being called, which is, the horn was the first cup and was also the first instrument. Was I think they said it was a ram's horn. But then over time, you know, goat horns and other horns were also utilized, you know. And you see the party going around in a circle. And the party is going up here to the hill, where there's another individual sitting on top of what looks like a barrel, and is playing the horn bag. What is it called? That the Ireland use. They play the horn bag, and that is the instrument that's being utilized throughout the majority of this, besides the horn. And the devil is dancing and leading with fire in the dark hour. Okay, now you have a pot over here that looks like there's cats being thrown into it, and there's cats sitting around the attendants of the fire. And then down here in the middle, at the bottom of the picture, what do you see? You see the devil shitting into the pot and shit spraying everywhere, just like the girl said. Okay, you also see a dead individual here that the rest of the party is walking on top of. Okay, you also see the Baal shoes, okay, what they call the Paulanes or the crocodiles, okay, which are the shoes with and they call them crocodiles because they were designed with long points to step on multiple roaches at once. You know, and then you see the goat right here on the table in the middle, and some female is over here, you know, kissing on the goat's arse. Okay, hey bro, I didn't draw this shit. This shit was drawn in the 1500s, 1600s sometimes. Ain't got nothing to do with me. But you damn sure ain't finna be trying to enforce me into your acts when this is what's going on. Now, this is actually a way larger painting. It's a mural than what's being shown here. This is only part of it. Now, what they stated is in earlier times, before devils were painted everywhere, they pictures of hell were composed with animals having, you know, enforcing crazy sexual shit on the white folk in the painting. This is in 1300s. This is on murals that have been destroyed. You have to understand, like I said in the book, a lot of the stuff that was destroyed during World War I and World War II was actually this type of shit. Murals and statues and shit that was all over Europe and shit. You know, and if we pay attention, what do we see here? We see some individuals being hung right here in the right-hand corner over here. And we also see a person being spit roasted, okay, with the bar going in their mouth and coming out of their rectum and being roasted over a fire, okay? And this is what we see. The devils are beating and, you know, destroying the Europeans everywhere and all these in this hellish painting here. Okay, and I think this painting is describing the 7 levels. Okay, there's a multitude of different levels that is described by Dante Alighieri. Okay, in his book, The Divine Comedy, the Inferno, the Paradiso, and the Purgatory. Okay, so yeah, you see what the devils are putting the hammer down on everybody. And this is one way that is not only I'm showing you this on activities of blacks towards whites, but this is also how whites look at blacks, And that's why all the devils are of color, because not only if we were to erase all black contact with Europeans, what do we see? We see that they have animals around them, and animals would be the bear, the wolf, maybe even a leopard up in there, some other entities. There was a specific type of lion that is now extinct that used to run around Europe. And these are the animals that would attack them, just like in Africa. Animals would attack them too. And how did they usually do it? How do they defend themselves from being attacked? The same way zookeepers defend themselves from being attacked today. And that's by giving some type of what we would call a sacrifice, which would be just some flesh of some animal or something, just defend them off of you. You dig? So this is also that same painting, but it's blown up a little bit larger. Okay, a lot of these pictures are in the books. Okay, this one is another Sabbath that is very detailed, and I think I give the full description inside the book. Up here in the top right hand corner is what's important, where we see the A, is where we see the goat is sitting inside the chair, which the goat is also the symbol of hermaphroditism, of the combination of male and female sexes. And then we see a king on the left hand side, we see a female on the right hand side. We can tell by the breast. So then we have the child here who is being sacrificed to the devil, and the devil has butterfly wings, not necessarily bat wings. Butterflies, or the killing of a butterfly, is a devilish sacrifice. So watch out any mention of butterflies inside the areas of witchcraft, okay? Because it is the moth that is the element of the devil, okay? So the devil will make a parody, or will make a mockery out of Christianity by putting on the butterfly wings. Okay, you have to understand that. So then you have the female here, and the devil that's sacrificing the child to the goat, as we can see. And then if we go over here all the way to the left, we see that there's you see she's playing the violin. You only see violins and flutes being played, and this individual has some form of old guitar, and this individual has some flute right here. And then right underneath them, you see them dancing in circle again. And then right here is where you have all the elites. This is all the nobles, and this is all the kings and queens, and the merchants and other individuals, blacksmiths and whatnot, that are also attending. And they are attending in observation, as they have not crossed over the water. You see that? They're standing on a hill. So they're trying to ask themselves if they want to be involved or not. Okay, and then we have some children here who are just born in the right, because as I've always stated, when you're a child, you do your devilish deeds. Okay, and that's when you're doing wild shit and you get whopped upside the head by your parents. Okay, so we have the pot here, the cauldron, which a witch is inside the pot. And if we look underneath the pot, once again, the flames are being fanned, and the coals for those flames are human skulls, as we can see it. Okay, these are very detailed paintings, and you have to pay very close attention to what's going on here, and if you're going to get a full description. As the witch inside the pot is holding snakes in her hand. Okay, and this is this curved axe here, which is what is I've noticed it today in several different drawings of this Sabbath, is definitely the curvature of what you will see on a cat's nails, or a tiger's nails, or even a dog's nails. It was a curve. Okay, and we have another witch assisting her for cutting up a frog and putting it in the pot. And what's coming out of the smoke in the pot is all types of familiars, and the witches flying on the broom. Okay? Yeah, you would have never thought seeing a little long-nosed witch during Halloween was connected to all of this shit. Yeah, exactly. That's why I said, nigga, what the fuck is you talking about? We finna go into the bowels and understand what the fuck you talking about up in here. Oh, I didn't even see. Look at this. Up here in the top right-hand corner again, where the goat is sitting in the middle, we have on the right-hand side the queen who has snakes in her hand, and on the left-hand side the snakes are in the hand. Now, we have to understand that when we're talking about snakes, they're not really they're using snake as a symbol to confuse you, because the real snake is the parasite. The parasite is the entity that can enter into your body and control your mind, control your eating, control your sex habits, control everything. So parasites have that power. Snakes don't. So it's not a snake that they're talking about. They're using the snake in caricature and cartoon caricature, so you could be familiar with you, so you could relate to something. Because if they were going to say a parasite, they would have to do too much explanation on parasites for you to really get that. And once again, we're not going to actually tell you the full truth, because guess what? We don't have to. That's the whole fucking point. It is up to you to figure it out, my nigga. Okay? So we have the goat, the motherfucker riding the goat again over the cave, and the motherfucker living in the cave, okay? And with it looks like snake hair, which may be a whole nother layer of shit. But down here in the bottom right hand corner, we see once again baby parts on the table, and they're all in congregation around the table. They're holding hands, and they're holding up cups and having great festivities over the baby parts that are on the table. And then we have the dancing around the tree. This is their shit, B. This ain't got nothing to do with no nigga. Okay, but we do see that now, because this is the Sabbath that is being brought forth to us in the public by the whole P. Diddy experience. Can we not say that? Haven't you heard about all the human trafficking and the children and the blood and all of this other shit that these motherfuckers is talking about on the news? This is your shit. It ain't got nothing to do with no Native American. Ain't got nothing to do with no African. Ain't got nothing to do with no Mexican. Nigga, this shit is on your Greek pottery. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here? Like, let's just deal with the goddamn reality. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not against white folk. Let me be very clear right now. I'm not racist. I'm not against white folk. But this is just what history states. And if you weren't embarrassed about this, then why haven't you educated us on these things? Why is it all in your rock and roll? You have groups that are named the Black Sabbath in your rock and roll. You have another group that's named the Iron Maiden in your rock and roll. How come you didn't educate, the natives about this activity like you educated us about 1 + 1 = 2, and go and sell some reeves to your neighbors during Christmas time? That's what you taught us, but you did not teach us about this, which we see right here. They're in the circle again, meeting the devil, and what does it look like he's wearing on his head? He is wearing the same type of hat that you wear when you graduate, because when you graduate college, you graduate high school, you are wearing the black, and you are wearing the black because you are in a status of unknown, which means that you don't even know what you about to go into next. But in the next level that you need to go to, you're going to need assistance, and you're going to need some type of supernatural assistance, and that's when it comes into meeting the Dark One, who will give you contracts so you could be rich forever, because in essence that's what you went to a university for. You went to a university so you could be educated, so you could be rich forever. Right? Exactly. Interesting, isn't it? So this is one of the paintings, like I was stating earlier, in the paintings of the Sabbath. You see the angels. You see the angels are coming out of the heavens right here to fight the devils. Now, what's interesting about this painting is that there was a little clip of this painting inside of a series of books that my mom had when I was a kid. It was called Mind Over Matter. It was a series of books, and I used to stare at this painting like, and it wasn't even the entire painting. It was only like half of it and shit. I used to stare at this shit like, yo, what the fuck is this shit? Now here it is, I'm explaining it 30, 40 years later. And that's what's so crazy about life, when you get up here in these other ages. You begin to understand that what was introduced to you as a child will be with you forever until you hit the casket. And these are one of those things that was introduced to me. As we see once again the mockery here with the monarch butterfly wings coming from the dark ones that are being slaughtered by the angels up here on top. And we have a murder of crows over here in the background. And whatever was born with you is going to be with you until you die. And I used to stare at this shit like, yo, what the fuck is this shit? And I guess I moved to Las Vegas and was forced into a zone to figure it out. But it's just crazy. So let's go to the next one. Oh, that one isn't really good. It's sort of pixelated. There it goes again. Female about to kiss that devil's ass. Sorry about that. I'm over here drinking something. But anyways, to see a poor man and a rich is no news, but to see the devil hugging a witch is strange indeed. Is your name Nick, sir, or Old Harry? I insist you tell before we marry. And that's the way a lot of women see it, is that when they're marrying their husband, they're marrying the devil. As I've told you before, you give it about 4 or 5 years, a woman's brain is going to default and classify you as the devil. Either way it goes, But that's also going to be based upon the speed of a lot of things that you may do during the course of the relationship. But from what I've witnessed personally, yeah, women are going to classify you as the devil and the causes of all their defaults in life. And it was his fault as if she's just a non-existent and not there. So once again, whether it's the Sabbath or in hell, you are sitting at the table with a great party. And on this table, though, there's feces on the plate, And this is also a thing you will see in the Marquis de Sade. And in his literature that was written during the medieval times. And he goes into details on the rituals of the elite and the orgies that they have and the type of shit that they do. And eating feces off the plate and acting like it is great hors d'oeuvre, was a part of the game. And that also correlates to what that girl Misha, the Jane Doe, was saying about, they would shit on the floor and then they would make the kids roll in it and lick on it and shit. It's all this type of shit right here, At the end of the day, we don't know if these things are what actually makes their art as great as it was, I guess, because the art was bright and the art attracted everybody. But like I was explaining to my homeboy earlier today, you know what I'm saying? The true definition of a god is an individual who has separated, who has been involved in experiences that the standard human has not been in. And if you do that in repetition at a high rate, your aura is going to be extremely bright. And your aura being bright and people do that for fear, reverence, or admiration of who they are as a person. So it doesn't matter if you're, doing a ritual for Zeus, doing a ritual for Oshun. It doesn't matter what system you're operating under. That is the end result. The end result is to make other humans in this world fear you, revere you, or admire you. And that's what's going on in Hollywood. That's what's going on if the drug dealer wants to get the case thrown by the judge. He's done great ritual with the slaughtering of a goat and a chicken or some shit. And he goes up in the courtroom and, something switches around in the judge's brain and he throws the shit out. Because he throws it out because he admired you and he feared you and revered you and doesn't really know why. But there is an invisible power structure that has gone on in the aura based off of events that you've done that nobody else has done. So that would also be in comparison of owning 100 businesses and flying all across the globe. You can own 100 businesses and you can have that inherited. and fly all across the globe, and people will admire you. They will see the glow off of you. They will see it in the confidence and the way you walk and the way you hold your shoulders and all that other shit. You know what I'm saying? Just don't get your brain caught up into the whole system of how things work. You know, because if you get caught up in the system, then you'll drive yourself insane thinking that spirits are telling you, oh, we need more blood, or we need a higher ritual this time, and we need this, and then you fuck yourself off and you make yourself too exposed to the public, and the public sees you. It's just like what's going on with the decline of sales in Hollywood. The decline of sales in movies are based upon the fact that everybody can see your homo agenda that you're propagating inside your art, and everybody's tired of it. We're tired of seeing that shit. So we don't want to see it. We don't want our minds or our souls assaulted by your fucking dumbass shit because you have problems with the world and you're trying to go out here and get your booty back because your booty got taken, and you hate the fact you wake up in the morning and you hate the fact that your booty was taken and you want to get it back, and there's no way of getting it back. So you try to enforce everybody else into the same situation of getting their butt taken. Nigga, get the fuck out of here. You know? This is another painting of the grandma teaching the young witch on how to fly, and she's about to take flight in the chimney with the broom. You know, and here's the double over here teaching the female in the dark hour by the candlelight in the book. You see, and that's how it works. And then once again, here's the dead horse, which it can also be, like I said earlier, the succubi. Yeah, I know y'all feel it. Y'all can feel the importance of this shit, and you don't know what's going on in this Western world, my nigga. Okay, and here's a painting of, female witches with an owl over one head. Okay, owl right here in the background. And then we have the baby parts inside the basket, which are going to trying to capture the young scared male who doesn't know what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? And he's trying, and this goes back to the stories of the Hansel and the Gretel, and inviting the children or inviting the stranger over and turning him into chop suey, which we've seen that in many movies. There was even a scene of that in the movie The Book of Eli, where the old folk, hold on, let me see here, where the old folk tried to bring in Denzel and the little girl and turn them into dinner for the night. Bagpipes is what I was talking about. But yeah, if there's any questions, y'all go ahead and shoot. I'm probably gonna have to read. We're probably gonna do a part 2 tomorrow. We're gonna read directly about the book. It's already been 2 hours, but I definitely had to show you what was going on in the painting so you can get a direct correlation when you look at the pictures that are released about Puffy's case and other pictures that may be released about parties and whatnot. How can you tell if you have a bright aura? What are some signs? The only sign is going to be the confidence in your walk. And the confidence in your walk is going to be from your conquering. If you haven't conquered shit or you haven't taken on shit, then you get no bright aura. You are a mundane. You are a lame in existence. Go play Fortnite, type shit. You haven't. Okay, for instance, when we talk about the brightness of the aura, let's erase all magic. Let's erase all so-called devilish deeds, right? In order to make the aura bright. So a person who has been in their industry for 20, 30 years, let's take a system like jumping out of planes, okay? So you and your date wants to go, jump out of plane for the date, and you got an individual that walks in the room, and the first thing he says is like, oh yeah, I've done this over 1,000 times. I've been jumping out of planes for 30 years. Boop! His aura is now bright. You now automatically respect, revere, and admire this individual that is going to be your host of the evening, that is going to oversee you jumping out of the plane. You see how that works? So you put 20, 30 years of dedication to a specific one thing and become an expert, a specialist, emeritus in said field, then you will have the bright aura. You will be revered as a god in that right, or a goddess in that right. You know, that's just what it is. You know, it is based upon one key word: dedication. Okay, and that is also what happens with you going to a university. I remember my mom told me when I was young, she was like, "Yo, a bachelor's degree or a doctorate or whatever is showing your commitment." You know, that's what a credit score is showing how you can commit to a thing and not fall out of contract. Because if you fall out of contract with your car note, then it goes on what? Your credit report. If you complete the contract, which is your commitment and dedication, then your credit score does what? Go up. You see how that works? So everything in this existence and your true trophies or your true accolades that you get from a system is based in dedication and commitment. And also the secrecies. So for the secrecies in, say, paying a car note, or even let's go back to what I was originally saying about the dude jumping out of the plane. You don't know what his secrecies are with jumping out of the plane 1,000 times. The first 500 times could have been him jumping out of the plane at 10 feet above the ground. You don't know that. What he told you was jumping out of the plane. He omitted the process in which he jumped out of the plane every single time because that is too much to explain, and too much explanation is not for the idiot. The idiot don't like explanations. They don't like long-winded conversation because they can't compute it. You dig what I'm saying? So they'll try to interrupt, or they'll try to come in with a question, or they'll try to suck their teeth at you because not only can they not explain it, but half the time they don't even understand the majority of the words that you're using. You dig what I'm saying? During the course of the explanation. Okay, because we have to also thoroughly understand that this 1900 to 2000 is really only the only space that we have in human history where humans are being educated. Okay, before then you were great buffoon. You did not know how to read or write. You only spoke your language. Okay, and you understood how to congregate and how to supervise the farm. Okay, and that's because that's where your food was at. You knew how to build a little house, but you didn't know how to read or write. A numbering system did not go past the number 50. If that, they most 9 times out of 10, it didn't go past the number 50 or 100 for the majority of the people on the planet Earth. Okay, let's keep that very fucking clear. This is the first time in human existence that humans are actually being educated and are in a space of education. That's why, we have a situation like what's going on over here in India where they call these niggas the other backward cultures, or how is it termed? Hold on, let me look it up real quick. They call them the other backward tribes, nigga. We are not going to be identified with your retardation. No, the other backward class is what they call it. So for those, and the other backward classes are defined as those who are socially or educationally backward, which means you do not produce. And you do not produce to assist human survival. Yeah, they're called the untouchables. You are the other backward class. And it's best for us to identify you as great retard so we don't get classified as great retard and they decide to drop the atom bomb on us one day because we are doing nothing when it comes to the assistance of the human race. You understand? That's how it works. This is how it works. Okay? So I need to identify you as a fucking retard so I don't get identified as a retard because I can prove my status of being a producer and you can't. And by genetics, you are fucking retarded. Okay, it goes from generation to generation to you. You are a loser. You understand? And that's where you want to be. That's where you are by DNA strand designed to be. You understand? So we will separate the space. We have to do that. We have to do that. Do not mate with the fucking degenerate. Don't do it. This is serious shit. You understand? So tomorrow we're going to do the part 2. The majority of the information that I just spit a lot of those paintings are in the volume 2, which we're going to be reading from tomorrow. You know, yeah, that's what's going on. If we have any questions, you better shoot them now. And with all that shit I just spit, if you don't have any questions, man, woe to you. My nigga, because I got to figure some goddamn shit out. And that's what a lot of people need to understand. One thing led to another when it came to my medieval studies. So I studied the diary of an executioner, which I done found more diaries from executioners during the time period. If I revise this medieval, oh my God, the shit that is going to be up in there is fucking outrageous. And one thing led to another. The nigga was up in there in his diary talking about how they selling body parts of the witches to the fucking alchemists and shit, you know, and all types of crazy ass shit. So then he was talking about, you know, how criminals are being found with the left hands of babies in their pockets, and he was giving a lot of descriptions on the type of criminals that was being discovered. So that made me go down the occult realm, and then I read the history of witchcraft, written by Jeffrey Burton Russell, and he goes in talking about, you know, the dances and the bacchanalia and the fucking Sabbath and shit. Then he goes in talking about the Oscar Memphame. And I'm like, well, what the fuck is this? So then I go research that shit. And then one thing just led to another with everything. It wasn't no specific subjects that I already knew and I knew what to put in here. No, that's not what happened. What happens is that when you read a book on a subject, you're going to learn about 10 other subjects, okay? Just like up in the, what's the name, while going through all of these different subjects that are composed in a 3-volume series, I kept on coming across all these odd weather patterns. So that made me study the weather. And then that's where we get the first chapter, which is 1,000 years of natural disasters that affected them. You know what I'm saying? If you're an immature brain, don't buy this material. You know, it's not for you. This information is actually past your Oxford and your Yale, you know, pontifical schools. And if you don't know what a pontifical school is, that's a school where bishops and priests for Catholicism that are underneath the Pope study this, have utilized this material. Jesuit schools have used it. Private research schools have used it. Private military research schools have read this material. They've encountered it. Same with the government facilities. And I mean, like right now, there's some governor's university that's all over it, metaphysical universities, all types of universities that y'all ain't never heard of have utilized this information because they've already studied some of the subjects, you know. So if you're gonna buy this information and just point the finger at, oh, you're caveman this and you're caveman all of this other shit, and you motherfuckers is doing this shit, dog, you are immature within your understanding of existence, because the same shit I could show you about the way Krampus is dancing around in Norway, I could show you African tribes dancing around with fucking, you know, antlers on their head from impalas and from other animals as well, antelopes and whatnot. So let's be fucking mature, okay? Things have evolved into a certain way on this existence. I put this information out for you to be able to identify things and survive better, and to get a higher level of respect because you are due diligent within your understanding of your environment, you know. And if you understand that and you come to this system with a lot of negative juice, you don't get it, and you need to sit down with that section on the executioner very thorough and see what disrespect can get you. You dig what I'm saying? And see what the weather patterns can get you from your amount of disrespect and as disrespect towards intellect, which is a human responsibility. You understand? So I just wanted to put that all out there. I see no questions have popped up, so we're gonna go ahead and close out the show. Y'all niggas need to get the books now, of course, because as the brother asked, this information is in volume 2 and is definitely explained from a first-hand, second-hand understanding Okay, and then I give my psychoanalytical review at the end of the of each well, not every section. Some sections I intentionally left wide open for you to understand on your own and for you to get your own grasp on the things that are occurring. But I don't know if that was wise for me to do or not. You know, like one of my homies told me, the literature really has no direction, and it doesn't have a direction. It wasn't for a direction, it's for an explanation of what's going on around you. You understand? And for an explanation of how you've been treated and some of the difficulties that you may have encountered that you couldn't explain or you couldn't define on what was really going on. And just like this whole situation with P. Diddy right now, I've been able to explain to you what's going on with its comparison to the Sabbath. And that's just the bottom line. Okay? He is the black, the dark skinned Ethiop with the red eyes. Okay, and we'll be going over that with far more detail tomorrow. Okay, because time is up for me and I got to make a move. You dig? So go ahead and get the books at the kickedoutofheaven.com. All three of them are going for $50 by themselves. If you want the full bundle right now, all three are going with 1,000 pictures in color, over 1,500 pages in explanation. And also you get the Black Man's Bible, the Real Nigga Etiquette, and the Ethereal Law for $100 with the higher educational level, which is the Encyclopedia on the Alchemy of Women, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Okay, you get those for free in the email. So go to theblackmansbible.com right now and get it. I want you to go ahead and share this video, post this video to all your pages. Let's see what type of rah-rah we can get behind it, because if it blows up or if we get a viral moment here, especially on this subject, on what I presented today, I'll definitely, focus my time on doing a whole documentary on everything that's going on. Because, that was just 2 hours of me explaining it. The stuff that I can pull up is phenomenal when we talk about the entirety of this situation, going all the way back down to some of the first cases of men going to court about sexual activity and whatnot outside of the space of rape and whatnot. And women, stop trying to act like the pussy is illegal. The pussy is not illegal. Okay, the pussy is a gift basket, okay, filled with precious fruits in the Garden of Eden, okay, which is which is to be given to man for his creation, and that creation turns into the protection of you. So, ladies, don't think that I'm pointing the finger at you or not. You know that you have the option to be, a termagant is what they call it, or a virago, a hellish cat, a hellish woman, or you have the position to be a fairy at all times, and stay in the position of brightness, because like the lady asked earlier about the brightness of the aura is truly going to come from being in love, and proper love making. Do you understand that? And that unison right there, especially in today's age, is going to be the maximum brightness that you could get outside of the areas of being dedicated to an industry or a element or a thing for 20 to 30 years. Okay, so this is the game, and I'm out of here. We will be back tomorrow, 2 o'clock. You put it on your alarm clock to come kick it at the Money Religion, okay? And then last but not least, let me see what we have here. Last but not least, we're definitely going to put this up here. The brother says that XRP hit 150 million market cap and has more trading volume than Bitcoin now. So y'all check out what he's saying. XRP, go ahead and download the Robinhood app for your stock market game. Yeah, because behind the stock market, everything that is in the medieval is the true black and green, which is the matrix writing. Okay, so I definitely wanted to put that in place. And I am out of here. All right, so let me know. Peace. Be here tomorrow. We have another wild one.
her tugging on my throat. Then her tail became the spine, spread the nervous system, traveled through time. The third eye of the mind, sunshine to the blind. Ignite liquid light, create breath and sight. So when the stars in dark fight, pterodactyls are born. Dinosaur, lizard in natural form. After ages, epochs, blizzards and storms, it is ice age. As we sharpen bronze blades, first art is drawn on the walls of the cave. My dead and God saved Abel from Cain's hand. The Cain became man of the land. This is Canaan with a K9 by my side at all times as I ride from Nubia to Jerusalem. Babylon was built, flying in Hindu on magical guilds. From the coat of the pool to Bullock's milk, you will mummify the barrow in black and gold silk. This my only arrow, keep my eye on the sparrow. I keep my eye on the sparrow, cause this my only arrow. This my only arrow, keep my eye on the sparrow. I keep my eye on the sparrow, cause this my only arrow. El Shaddai, Mount Sinai, Aquila the eagle, we fly high. Got the wise guy, a child of Israel, but is he real? And did he kill? Whatever done on this battlefield, it is God's will. When I dance in your skin, I got no chill, then blood spill. On the wheels of the chariot, we carry it to Greece. We seek war and peace, create hordes and streets. Lupinar on a leash, birth the Byzantine peace. From the west to the east, village to village, for a medieval feast. Sprinkle acid in your yeast and lead in your wine. A crown for the clown as we rewrite time. Kings and queens deserve everything that we find outside of the garden of the lights. Baby, it's all crime, only Marys will cry. Saints pay no never mind till the witches start to fly. Laugh at the traitor that's amputated and fried. That's my only arrow, keep my eye on the sparrow. I keep my eye on the sparrow, cause this my only arrow. This my only arrow, keep my eye on the sparrow. I keep my eye on the sparrow, cause this my only arrow. Ahoy, the decoy, we got slaves to employ. They operate like animals, their souls are void, but don't make no noise. The natives will get you and eat you alive. After I gather their gold, I'll be wearing their hide. Without a godfather clock, the Mayans don't know time. Nobody's equal without the equine amigo and negro. Hung from a thin line, cartels and sambos, have some fun and some wine. From the boat to the dollar, we operate by the sign. Is it lies that we have? Stab the flag in the land, the moon in the sand. Put your hands behind your back for the contraband. Now we let clocks demand. Souls to the black hole, is that cold here? Open a can of whoop ass, on me hold my beer. As we dance with the carcass that we piss on fear. This is the money religion and our God is clear. This my only arrow, keep my eye on the sparrow. I keep my eye on the sparrow, cause this my only arrow. This my only arrow, keep my eye on the sparrow. I keep my eye on the sparrow, cause this my only arrow. Lucifer's rage. Don't you remember the days we was on the same page? Now we graduated from the 12 gauge to AK. We looking for who's paid. Give a fuck about how it's made. Send that bitch to the blade. Send that stitch to the grave. I am not switching my ways. This is OG Fossil Colossal from Las Vegas to Chicago. My with exotic models. Spend a couple racks, diamond knuckles on the bottle, nigga. Go figure. They wanna talk shit, but that soft bitch won't step inside my office. We ain't taking no losses. The cross is rosary beads. Godfather, you niggas don't know about me. I've kept it OG from the fucking start. This ain't in candy paint. Put a flame to your heart. Lasers follow these bullets as they glow in the dark. Life's a Shakespeare stage and I'm just playing my part. We are displaying the art. Nigga, how about you? Niggas clout chase like that bullshit's a plate of food. This is the state of the rude. Niggas DOA over he say, she say. Life ain't no replay or a tape to rewind. This This is double level, what the fuck is demon time? We shine on this grind just like wisdom teeth. The gods' ism is deep. An Egyptian priest that mob in a Lambo on beast, dressed in a camel with a piece, the animal beast, and don't believe in defeat, and we will never retreat. Say it again, make them kiss the feet, then put two in the wind. For the 7 deadly sins, them boys got thick skin, they be knee deep in. He's a hero for hire, check the date if used by, it is never expired. Never seen a real nigga that got to retire, ride out of this pyramid on 4 flat tires. What does the game require? You brag about your money, you do that shit on these streets, you'll be a crash test dummy. We ski mask when we hungry, surgery for the ugly. No need for mean mugging, this supreme clean thugging. PLR 16 with a green bean dumping, only cause you staring at me like I'm owing you something. Niggas get pissed and then they post it on their page. This is Lucifer's Rage and my name is Luke Cage.